Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
Rock Island County's auditor paints a bleak picture. What's up with county finances? And throwing a little shade and saving you some cash in the cities. Rock Island County facing another difficult year. The county's auditor basically saying the cupboard is bare. This comes as the county remains without an administrative leader, and new questions are being asked about the future of the county-run nursing home. And joining us is Republican County Board Member Drew Mielke, Democrat Kai Swanson. Both of you, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
A wise man once said, "It's spit and baling twine that is what is keeping the budget going." That wise man was you, and you said it last month. What did you mean?
Well, we've had a fundamental flaw in the budget for Rock Island County. The roots go back to the early 1980s, and that is it is insufficiently resourced. If you look at just the county level of property taxes, you'll find that they are among the lowest in the state of Illinois. Now, your bill is higher because you have schools and libraries and fire protection districts and all kinds of things like that. Good things, all. But the county's portion of your property tax bill ranks it among the lowest in the state of Illinois, and it has the lowest county sales tax in the state of Illinois. In fact, there are municipalities in Rock Island County where it's cheaper to buy big ticket items than it is in Bettendorf or Davenport, which has a higher sales tax rate. The county has, for a long time, capped its revenues and has had a governance structure which is frankly very decision averse and has not gone after the kinds of resources and revenue enhancements that it should have been doing all along, leaving it in a very, very deep hole. This led at a time that the courthouse was becoming completely defunct and obsolescent, that the only way to fix the court facilities was either let it go to the courts, where we would have seen our liability property taxes go through the stratosphere, or through a rather creative fix that allowed for bonding through the Public Building Commission mechanism. So yeah, these are mechanisms. These are little things and tricks, budgetary things like that have been done now for decades. And you know, when we had a county administrator in place that was keeping a laser focus on budget, we started to come back a little bit. And we were actually looking at beginning to build margin. You need about a 3 to 6% margin to make an operation like the county work. And he's only been gone 4 or 5 months. The margin is gone. We are back in the ditch.
And Drew Mielke, that's where I want to go, is because at this point, we thought things were going well 6 to 8 months ago. Now, April Palmer, the county auditor, saying there's no money in the bank.
Well, we've been struggling for about 3 years. We've been borrowing tax anticipation warrants for about 3 years to cover payroll sometimes if there's 3 pages. So, you know, to me, this isn't really that new of a situation, although I think it does undermine or determine why we need a county administrator. Certainly things were better when we had a county administrator. I think things are kind of veering off. And as far as creative fixes like the courthouse with the Public Building Commission, I don't like that fix because they built a courthouse without public approval. They did it under the Public Building Commission, yes, but the Public Building Commission could only build it as an annex to the jail. And so, yes, we did bond $25 million. We did $3 million more for overages, and now that overage is being looked at to tear down the courthouse. So we have an intergovernmental agreement on the table right now that was handed out at our last meeting, and I'm not so sure that that's the right path to use that money in that fashion.
But let's be honest, a new courthouse, no matter what, was going to be connected to the jail because the courthouse has the courts and the jail's got the prisoners.
I don't have a problem with the location. No, and actually, Kai is exactly right. We had to get out the threat of a lawsuit, but that was for courtrooms. That wasn't for dilapidation of the courthouse. That was for the courtrooms that were determined to be too small.
But the two are just intertwined perfectly.
Well, they weren't, but we should have, 30 years of neglect should never have happened.
And isn't that just a pox upon your house then? I mean, the fact that you had to wait for a lawsuit, you know, obviously the county board should have been doing this, or at least preparing for it.
Should have been maintaining it all along.
And that's where the county administrator comes in. Obviously there was no county administrator before.
No.
And now we've been without one since I believe September, was when
Effectively
Dave Ross had left.
Yeah.
So where are we now in the hunt for a new administrator?
Well, this weekend we are going to have the candidates. We're going to meet with the candidates county board privately because this is a personnel decision. And we're going to evaluate the candidates that GovHR has provided us, and hopefully we'll have a winner.
Well, and let's be honest, well, yeah, because you need a winner. Yeah. but let's talk about that, because when I talked to you last and towards the end of last year, it seems like you're almost on schedule. You're hoping to have somebody perhaps in place by May.
Right, and that is,
or at least I should say offered by May.
Right, we wanted to have an offer out in April if we can, and I think we might be able to meet that timeline. But it really has laid bare how quickly structural flaws can rise right back to the surface. I look at things from a systems and structures point of view, and the fact of the matter is, going back as many decades as you want, these problems have their roots in a governance structure in which you have very well-meaning individuals who are nonetheless part-time local amateur politicians, right? And because of that, it was given to them to run an increasingly complex organization that evolved beyond their capacity or their bandwidth to do. So when we saw an opportunity to have a county administrator with the kind of bandwidth to do this as a 40, 50, let's face it, 60-hour-a-week job, we saw progress. What's been, I mean, surprising, frankly, to me, is how quickly that progress has gone into retrograde motion.
Absolutely. I mean, does that speak to the fact that the systems weren't put in place so that what Dave Ross had done would not continue effectively?
No, he was, you know, we were doing a lot of policies and procedure documents, right? But those need to be watched very, very closely. And I don't know about Drew, but when I read everything I get as a county board member, I can only give about 3 hours a week to this job. I mean, it's just,
well,
there's no way that a bunch of part-timers can be running this organization.
As a former, Village Echo Valley trustee, which is someone in the community that's devoting their time for the betterment of the community, we had a village administrator. So in 2012 when I ran, that's the first thing I campaigned on. Why didn't we have one? We were not being run professionally, and that's one of the things that Dave Ross brought. Yeah. I've heard criticisms, but I'll tell you, it's a lot better having someone doing, this is a large organization, the county, employs 800 people or more, and to not have a professional administrator is not serving anyone's interest.
Well, let's be honest, this professional administrator also has to work with a number of elected officials,
yes,
which is not what you see in a municipality. I mean, the sheriff's elected, the clerk is elected, trustees.
And it takes some of the politics out. And the village government,
like
we were nonpartisan.
Cats, I'd assume, at some point. Well, everyone's got fiefdoms, everyone's got budgets, everyone has wants and needs.
Right. It's not an ideal situation, but what we saw in the previous administrator is that he did have the human and interpersonal skills to create the bridges necessary to make it work. And,
yep,
and he was building great alliances with the sheriff, with the auditor, treasurer, recorder, and so forth. And if we get the right candidate, I would expect that person to do exactly the same thing.
So is that the key? I mean, also having a good financial background or the ability to
We've got a key chain here. The biggest key is financial acumen. That's absolutely it. It's got to be just an acute focus on the finances. Secondarily, it's to work well in a team and to make sure that they're assertive. Because again, you have old structures that want to impose themselves, where part-time elected officials think they can run things. We can't run things. Real spoiler alert there for you, Jim. And we need somebody who's assertive enough to say, okay, you stay in your lane, county board, which is strategy, oversight, accountability, and let us professionals do this in this lane.
Put the right people in the right places to run things. And then, yes, we oversee and we'll set policy and agenda.
Are you at all worried that some possibly good candidates are afraid to come to Rock Island County?
We weren't worried last time, and we got a good candidate.
Well, that's a simple answer.
Yeah.
What are you looking for? I mean, obviously...
People skills, on top of what Kai said. I agree with everything what he said, but you need someone with good people skills to work with all these people. And notice that people aren't always going to agree, but that's okay. We represent our districts, and we all have the best of the county in our heart. How we get there, sometimes we differ on.
One of the things that Dave Ross had written up was the budget plan before he left last year. And one of the things that he said is that Moody's liked the 2017 reforms that Rock Island County was doing, particularly with Hope Creek Nursing Home, and it kept the A3 credit rating, and that was an $800,000 savings he saw for the county.
Right.
Hope Creek, once again, it seems to be in a financial bind. I mean, is this a time to cut and run, although that time had also come before the county board a year ago?
Well, actually, Drew and I were just talking about this a few minutes ago. This is, again, has to do, in my mind, with structures. So you have a professional administrator at Hope Creek. When Dave Ross was in place, she had one person to report to, one person to bounce ideas off, one person to hold her accountable to say, you need to hit these marks as you go. You take that person out or you diminish that office in any way, then you've got maybe 6 elected officials over here that you're reporting to. And then you have a very conscientious community board led by Jesse Hullen, and we should be very grateful that he stepped up to do that. But then you've got that level of reporting to, right? And you're making a cumbersome overstructure that doesn't need to be there. So with the previous structure and Dave, with that administrator in place, we were seeing headway. We were seeing a very large ship slowly turning, but the question always was, would there be time? Now, if you take a 5, 6, 7 month hiatus from that, the execution of that maneuver, it's going to take a long time to get back on track. I think that's going to be a subject that Drew and our colleagues and I are going to be talking about a lot in the coming months.
I also want to get to the county courthouse, of course, and your vote that's expected perhaps this month, maybe next month, but you can't kick that can down too much longer. It's gone, isn't it?
I think we've tried to get outside companies to come in and see what they can do. Part of the problem is that it's always going to be a government or building, and so there's things that we cannot be done with it. You can't sell it to someone else and have them renovate it. We still have to own it. So that kind of narrowed our.
Why do you still have to own it? I thought you could sell it for $1 and somebody could take it over and renovate it. And I should clarify when I'm talking about this is I'm talking about the old county courthouse and the fact that the new county courthouse
it's proximity to the jail. And I actually, what I wanted to do.
I see, sure.
What I wanted to do is sell the county office building. This is if we had the money.
Right.
Move into the county courthouse. It's empty. It could be refurbished while it's empty, kind of like what they did at Augustana and Old Main. And if we had the money, that would be a good answer. We don't have the money. 16 million, I believe, is what we were looking at to do that. If Rock Island or County and Rock Island City, if there weren't so many vacant buildings, maybe that we could sell the county office building because it would have more of a market. Right now, the market isn't there. So that's another reason why it's not going to work. But it's a good idea, but it's not the right time.
And the market's not coming back. I mean, you can't wait for the market. So, I mean, let's be honest, this old county courthouse is gone.
It was like trying to find a needle in a stack of needles. You had to have a historic tax credit in place. You had to have an Illinois capital spending bill in place. You needed to have a developer who was willing to work on credit with a group that had no credit. You needed a county organization that had at least a $10 million reserve. Well, as we talked about earlier, that reserve is gone. It's history, and we need to build that back up.
But as far as demolishing the courthouse, I'm not certain. You know, we bonded $25 million, again, $3 million for an overage. Is tearing down the courthouse considered an overage to annex to the jail? I don't believe it is. I think that money should go back. If there's leftover money, it shouldn't be used to build a park. It should go back into the bond, and maybe we didn't. But that was overage money.
It is important to remember that the cost of that will be a mothballed building, likely with police tape around it, because it has black mold and it has asbestos.
And it would have to be paid for anyhow, as far as
3 to 5
the
years, you'd have this eyesore sitting there just as you're coming in off the Centennial
Well, I
Bridge.
guess I have problems with the process.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But you can have, I understand the ends and the means is what you're talking about, but I mean, the ends have to occur, right?
I think it's going to probably have to be demolished.
So how would you pay for it if not this way?
Well, it's going to, what's the 1.5 million are the costs that we're looking at, and but you know, you don't forget that the tax burden to the bonds is money coming out of the taxpayers' money. It's just where is it coming from? I
agree with you in concept, Drew, but the problem is there has not been a history of a will to raise that $1.5 million on the part of the county board. It would be another can kicked further down the road. The money's there, it's been levied, it's been waged, I mean the taxes have been raised. It's time to move forward. A bird in the hand is worth far more than 2 in the bush.
Well, it'd be better than a park.
What would be wrong with the park?
The park was almost $1 million proposal, and why would we spend money that way? Taxpayer money to build, a park, yes, green space, yes, but almost $1 million, no.
And that future is still out of focus, and I don't know that there's $1 million park coming Rock Island's way, but I do think that the cost of the asbestos abatement, the black mold remediation, the relocation of the offices that are still in that building are things that we don't have penny one for, so we would be foolish, I think, to turn down an available funding source that's already there and ready to go.
Gentlemen, I have to leave it at that. Looking forward to your vote later this month, as well as your future votes for the next, 8 or 9 months.
And you know that Drew and I are going to keep talking about this.
Yeah.
And I plan on having you on so that you can continue talking about it. Kai Swanson, Drew Milke, County Board members with us tonight. And still ahead, how you can buy a tree at a discount and keep saving money after it goes in the ground. But first, the weather hasn't been warming up so far in April, but we've got plenty of great indoor events that may be worth your time in the days and nights ahead. Here's Laura Adams, Out and About.
This is Out and About for April 2nd through 8th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. After the snow, the Airmark Spring Craft Fair is taking place at the German American Heritage Center on April 7th. The Quad City Coin Club present their annual Spring Coin Show at the Camden Center in Milan on April 8th. Or enjoy the Collector and Toy Tractor Weekend at the Steeple Building in Bishop Hill on April 7th and 8th. Calling all Harry Potter fans to the Knights of Columbus Harry Potter Trivia Night, April 7th, held at St. Pius' Farrell Hall in Rock Island. NAMI Homefront Education will be at Western Illinois University Quad Cities holding a free class designed to meet the unique needs of military and veteran service members and their families dealing with PTSD. A body is found in the historic landscape of the Hauberg Center. Solve the mystery at Murder in the Mist, a mystery scavenger hunt in Rock Island on April 7th. Church Basement Ladies Rise Up O Men is a brand new musical featuring the men of the church and your favorite church basement ladies who serve them. Now on stage at Circa 21, and right next door at the Speakeasy, check out Viva la Divas on April 6th. Plus, the Quad City Symphony Orchestra presents Postcards from Russia, featuring the music of Tchaikovsky, April 7th and 8th at Centennial Hall and the Adler Theater. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Quad City singer, songwriter, and author Keith Soko is no stranger to the stage. He's fronted bands in Milwaukee and Los Angeles, was in the music publishing business in Hollywood, and now he's a well-known performer at venues around the cities. We asked him to join us to play one of his songs at the Black Box Theater in downtown Moline. So here's Keith Soko with Jet Black Hair.
Jet black hair on a body like that. She's the kind of woman stop me in my tracks. He said, jet black hair on a body like that. She's the kind of woman with a bike out back. I don't know what I need to know. You just lead and that's where I'll go. Jet black hair on a body like that. She's a leather lover, got stiletto tracks. He said, jet black hair on a body like that. She looks just like Xena, warrior princess. I don't know what I need to know. You just lead and that's where I'll go. I want that motorcycle, baby, all night long. Motorcycle, baby, all night long. I want that motorcycle, baby, all night long. I said, jet black hair on a body like that. She's the kind of woman stop me in my tracks. I said, jet black hair on a body like that. She's the kind of woman with a bike out back. I said, jet black hair on a body like that. Jet black hair on a body like that. I said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, yeah.
Keith Soko performing Jet Black Hair at the Black Box Theater in Moline. Signs of spring are starting to show up everywhere. It's just the warm temperatures that are slow to arrive, but that shouldn't stop you from thinking about planting in your yard. And if you live in Iowa, boy, have I got a deal for you. Joining us is Stacy Christopherson, who's Energy Efficient Product Manager with Mid-American Energy, and Scott County Conservation Board Deputy Director Mark Miller. Thank you both for joining us.
Thanks
I like
for
it. It's called Plant Some Shade is the name of it. It's not a new program in this area.
No, this program has been around since 2004, and it's a cooperative effort between Mid-America, the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, and the Scott County Conservation Board. And the three different organizations all bring something unique to the table, with Mid-America funding, DNR doing the administration and the contract, and then the Conservation Board is really the local salesperson. And we do the manpower and the heavy lifting for the tree sale.
So how does this work? I live in Iowa. I just want a tree.
If you're a Mid-American customer, you can go to their website and you can order one of the different species that we have available. We'll send you a little card. Then you come out to Westlake on the 19th of April between the hours of 4 and 6, hand us your little card, and we'll load you up and get you on your way.
Well, Stacy, why would Mid-America be involved in this? I mean, is there really that much of an impact that trees have as far as energy consumption?
Yes, it's part of our energy efficiency plan, and there's a lot a tree can do, and it gives a lot of shade as well as really help with cooling costs for your house. So the best tree is obviously planted 20 years ago, but anytime you plant a tree, you know, in the right place and the right time, you can really see some benefits.
And that's what I wanted to underline, because you said the right place. I mean,
yes.
Do I just come in and say, oh, I want a tree and I could put it anywhere? I mean, how does that work? If you're going to get energy savings and you're going to get the payoff that you want as far as helping consumers save energy, don't you want to know where that tree is being planted?
Well, there's a lot of places you can go online, and they'll even tell you with your own house and your area of where's the best place to plant. And actually, the gentlemen at when you pick up your trees have great suggestions on where you should plant the tree.
I always thought that people with the energy utilities hated trees because they get into the power lines and the branches fall during storms and they cut my power. I mean, that's when you're planting a tree, there's a lot to consider.
Yes.
I mean, you got to look up, of course, and you got to know what's down. It's not just as easy as digging a hole anymore.
Exactly. So there's a lot of things to consider, and you know, what do you want for your house, as well as is it near power lines, or what you said in the ground too, what you need to avoid.
Well, Mark, you got a couple. I do know that I love the species. You got oak and elm, which are just standard, but you're also going to get a spruce, magnolia, plum, and tulip trees, and I should say the Norway spruce is actually sold out. But I mean, you have a wide variety of options that people can pick from. I mean, do you pick them only because of decorative reasons, or can you pick them because of better shade or better ways that they protect your house?
In cooperation with the DNR, we sat down and we looked through a large variety of trees. And over the years at our sale, we have sold 36 different varieties. And of course, you know, if you plant one predominant species such as ash and then you have an emerald ash borer,
as we're seeing,
then you know it pretty much wipes out your tree. And what we do with our sale is we try and split that up so that we have like 3 of the bigger shade trees, which is your oak, your elm, and our elm is Dutch elm resistant, by the way, that variety, and then a tulip.
Well, it has to be. You know, it has to be these
days.
And
a tulip tree. Then we also pick a couple of ornamentals. Now, in this case, we have the star magnolia, which is a flowering, very pretty yard ornamental type tree of a smaller nature, and then the edible plum, which, you know, with the backyard gardening and that kind of stuff nowadays, we want to always offer something that people can consume. So we do apple trees. This year it's a plum tree. This particular plum tree doesn't need another plum to pollinate. It can self-pollinate. So we can sell you one versus, like when we sell you apple trees, we like to sell you 2 so they can cross-pollinate. Right, and the other interesting thing, you mentioned power lines. The edible plum is one of the approved trees to plant underneath the power line because it only gets to 15 feet tall. So, and then we also always offer an evergreen, but they're all sold out.
The Norway spruce is gone.
So that's gone already.
Well, Stacy, I mean, like I said at the very beginning, boy, have I got a deal for you. I mean, this is really cost efficient for anybody who wants to put some trees in their yard.
These are just great trees, and they retail for almost $65 to up to $100, but we sell them for $30. Mid-American helps pay that difference. And then obviously the rest of the money, the $30 fee, comes from customers. So it's a great deal. The trees are so amazing.
The program's not new, so I mean, what suggestion do you, I mean, you got to register, you got to make sure before they do get sold out out or taken out. What should you do, and should you do it right now?
Well, we do get a lot of calls in January and February saying, you know, when are these applications going to be available? And they are available obviously now, but around February, the end of February, we have all the applications up there and ready. So if you miss out this year, look to next year. We'll have them again.
Are there still some available? Are there? Do you know?
Are there
for this
still
year?
trees? Yes, we still have quite a few trees. So if you are interested, definitely go to our website and look for the Plant Trees tab, and we have all the varieties there, and you can just check what you want and send it in.
And once again, I have to apologize because it is Iowa only, and it is Mid-American consumers only, because you're obviously backing the program.
Right. So Iowa customers, go ahead and look in, and we've got a couple events throughout the whole state, not just Davenport, so across our whole service territory. So it's all listed there on the website.
But the Davenport event's at Westlake.
Correct. That will be the 19th of April, Thursday, and they can pick them up between the hours of 4 and 6. If they come in gate 4, we have one-way traffic. Just follow
you got
the
it figured
signs.
out. You got it figured out.
Well, we've been doing it since 2004. So they just come in, give us our card. As of this morning, we had 66 trees left to sell.
Oh, okay.
So, and that's 16 oak, 20 elm, 8 tulip, 9 magnolia, and we had 13 plum left, which is kind of surprising because I thought those would sell.
Would go fast, yeah. So there's still options for you. And once again, it is April 19th at Westlake between 4 and 6. 2 days later, and I want to talk to you about this, the Conservation Board says Spring Volunteer Workday is coming up, and I know you wanted to talk about that because, I mean, the whole cleanup and making sure that our parks and our riverfronts look good, it's always a big spring initiative, and volunteers are just the key to that.
Right, and this year on the Saturday the 21st, starting at 9 o'clock out at the Wapsie Environmental Ed Center by Dixon, Illinois, volunteers can come out and they can help with the spring cleanup, garlic, mustard harvesting, or pulling of the harvesting, really pulling the invasive species.
Yeah, and that is such a huge deal for you guys.
That's a big deal. And then we would appreciate if they would call the Wapsie Center, and then because we are going to offer a light lunch afterwards.
There you go.
So after we get some work out of the folks, they can we'll feed them a little bit. The other thing they're going to be doing out there that I think a lot of folks will find interesting is they're going to be making insect hotels as part of the project too. And that's essentially, there's a large variety of those, and a lot of gardeners like to do that so you can get the bugs to help pollinate your garden.
Which is so key these days.
And if they want to know more about insect hotels, they can visit the program.
And let's talk real quickly, who do you want to volunteer? I mean, do you want kids involved? Because sometimes younger people may not be all that adept at what you need done.
This is a family affair.
Perfect.
Whether you're old, young, bring your children. It's a good opportunity. We encourage people to get outside. So, I mean, even if they can't do a lot, they can still get outside and participate in the program.
Well, and who knows, maybe it'll warm up by April 21st, right?
We're sure hoping.
Go to the Google page and type in Scott County Conservation. It'll get you to the information. Thank you so much for joining. We really do appreciate it. The trees, once again, Mid-America's got it on their website. Scott County Conservation's got it on its website as well. Stacy Christopherson, Energy Efficient Product Manager with Mid-American Energies, and Scott County Conservation Board Deputy Director. We're going to make you director soon enough. Mark Miller, thank you both for joining us. Well, we're just a few weeks away from WQPT's annual Ready to Learn Early Childhood Conference. It's open to parents, childhood professionals, and child care providers in our area. And you can register now for the April 21st conference. It includes more than 20 sessions on topics like creating success with toddlers and building strong relationships in classrooms. Does that sound interesting to you? You can head to WQPT.org, get more information, and to register for the sessions. The Ready to Learn Conference is held at the Western Illinois University Quad Cities campus, once again, Saturday morning, April 21st. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.